Hi everybody, Grid21 back with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about the Elgato Stream Deck. Now, hear me out. I know there's already been a lot of videos talking about it and stuff, but I felt that with some of the new software releases that came out with it, as far as doing multi-action and timers and a couple other things, I felt it was kind of worthy to do a video about how I've actually used some of the new features that have come with the Elgato Stream Deck software and how you can actually use it for yourself for your streams. And to make this kind of fun and easy, I've actually plugged in my Canon Vixia HFS 200 into, ironically, my Elgato HD60 Pro, so you guys can actually see the buttons that I'm pushing and some of the actions. When I hit a button, you'll actually see that it is definitely occurring and stuff. You can kind of see it's my rear cam here, and if I hit that, actually let me quick enable this here. If I hit that, you can basically see some of the scene changes and stuff, but that's just a little bit of what the Elgato can actually do. Now what I can actually go ahead and show you what I've really done is I've actually created several folders. Now this software here, this is the companion software that makes this display everything that's on the screen that you see here. So when I hit folders, it will basically bring up my my normal stream folder. I have the morning metro folder, which has different actions. This one's quite heavily programmed as well with the multi-action, which is why some of these are marked in blue. I actually one of the really nice things about the Elgato is that you can actually create your own custom icons by simply clicking on a button and then hitting the drop down, then set from file, and then you can then of course go navigate to whatever file that you have all your elements from. And yes, it supports GIFs, so if you wanted to have a GIF for as a button to signify an action, you can definitely do that. I've also programmed things such as AV sources like mute microphone, unmute all, as well as individual sources, color bars, my Elgato capture card, of course. And that's just some of the things that are really a part of this software that make the Elgato really work super well together and stuff. So what we're actually going to do is, let me actually put my headphones on here if I may, and we'll actually because I want to be able to hear some of this. Let's see. Oh, there's a doubling in my voice, which is strange. I didn't realize that. Well, apparently it's the microphone, so there's going to end up being a bit of a doubling of my voice, unfortunately, which I'm terribly sorry over. You hopefully won't hear it when I actually go to sync footage. I don't know, actually. Let me see if I can quick fix that. There we go. That's already been turned down to 0. All right, so sorry about that. I can now turn that back up. All right, so anyway, with that out of the way, sorry about that. Let's go ahead and talk about how I specifically have used the Elgato Stream Deck in my streams in particular. And one of them that I've actually really liked is at the end of my stream, I actually have the end video programmed that it will actually, if we can actually go ahead and look at the tasks that are programmed in this, we have a scene that so it picks the end video, it plays the credits from Streamlabs, empties the bit jar, activates the raid command by speaking as me in chat, as well as sending out a tweet, playing a soundboard file, which is essentially the song that I've picked for the end of my streams, Stream Deck, delay that will actually then end the stream and then actually automatically stop the audio, which is quite a lot of programming, but it's really quite cool. So I'm going to go ahead and show an example of what that would look like. Probably for the sake of copyright, I might not play the song that's in there, but believe me when I say there definitely is a song that's actually playing when I end my stream. So if I hit this button here, let's go ahead and tap. Well, basically, if it were streaming, it would actually mute all of my audio, which it is now done, is mute my VoIP, and mute my microphone, which is why I was unable to speak. But that is essentially some of the programming that it can do, and it's actually still running through the through the tasks, as you'll actually see in post overlay once I put the actual video on. It's actually now finished the task, which is good. So now we can go back to our where is it? We can go back to this here. Actually, let's go back to this here. So I know it was that was kind of a little bit of an awkward transition, but essentially, as I was hitting different buttons and actions, it would basically play those different sources and stuff. For example, if I hit the Morning Metro. Thank you for listening to the Morning Metro. All stories and articles belong to their respected companies. Songs used for broadcast. Intro music, Retro Funky by Persephone. Remix by Sundance. Yes, okay. Well, anyway, it will basically play my audio file for the Morning Metro, which is actually really quite cool. So, if I can figure out how to get back to my... let's go back here. Yep. So those are just some of the things I can do. Now, those actions that you saw all come from the multitask ability, which is basically, again, shows a scene. There's a delay. It will then mute both the audio of microphone, which actually mark this as mic. And we'll go ahead and mark this as voiceover IP. And then it will stop recording. It will then stop recording, which it actually just did, as I forgot this was stopped recording. That's kind of awkward. It will stop the recording and then stop the stream. I forgot that does that, so that was kind of weird. So let's go ahead and actually talk about how you would set this up. So we're actually going to go ahead and drag this over, and there's going to be a little bit of an inception here to some degree. So what we're going to do is we're going to create it. Let's first create a new folder. So we're going to do create folder, and we're going to call this test. You actually, if you hit shift enter, you actually enter in the next line to do the spacing for test folder. So if I double click in that, I now have an empty folder. Now you can establish profiles, and you can do that by doing profiles, and you essentially hit create new profile, which I will not do because I don't want to do at the moment, because I have some very specific things programmed here, and I want to be able to, you can actually flip-flop back and forth. You actually can have a button here that actually will tell it to switch profiles and stuff. Profiles is another really easy way of creating, so rather than creating folders, profiles is another way of creating what we're going to call, like, I wouldn't say subsections, but it's something like that, where it basically establishes a whole new set of button sets. Like I have this in my general use buttons and stuff, which I'm not going to play that, but for the sake of this particular tutorial, for how I've set it up, we're going to actually set this up as just this. Let me quick exit my Steam here. So test folder, we're gonna go ahead and go in here then, and it's now basically empty. So now I could say I could set up some new scenes to do this, but I think since I'm focusing mainly on this here, I'm gonna just deal with just this, maybe not necessarily something in OBS. And oh my gosh, could I please stop getting so many notifications right now? It's literally ridiculous. Here, just close all the things. Close all the things. Close all the things. Please stop. Thank you. Anyway, let's go ahead and acknowledge this. So let's start with, actually here, let's do this. Let's say we're going to, let's talk about some of the multi-actions. So generally, if you wanted to create a general stream profile of something, you just want some really basic tasks, you could say, hey, I want a scene. I'm going to title this, I don't know, like welcome, for example. Then you pick. Now, the way that this works is the Stream Deck software will actually integrate with OBS, and you can actually see that it says Elgato Stream Deck plugin. So upon installing the Stream Deck software, it will then auto-install the plugin that will basically, the software is acting as the controller for OBS. So you have a hardware controller that then interfaces with software, that then interfaces with a plugin, something to that effect, that allows you to control it the way that it is being controlled. I know there was a lot, but basically what that then entails then is that it allows for scene control. So for example, I have a welcome. So because I pulled from the OBS list, I can say scene and I can say welcome. That when I hit this, it then goes to my what's the word? It goes to the scene that I established it. Now give me a moment to navigate back to the folder or the. Let me go back to this. All right, so navigating back to this here. So let's go ahead and go back. And you can actually use mouse control while you're programming it too if you don't want to click around or click the deck specifically. So now, well, let's say, you know, okay, you had welcome, and let's say you want to, oh, I don't know, maybe switch to another scene and then maybe play an audio file. Now, to establish audio files and stuff, you would basically you hit this little 3-button icon here, and I would navigate to say my not my render folder, sorry, my Elgato Twitch. Is Twitch OBS videos? Yes, Twitch OBS videos. And I would say pick it supports .mp3, .wave, .ma4, .mp4, .mov, and so on. So basically, almost all the native media formats that people are familiar with. A lot of people might use WAV or .mp4 for the majority of it, which is fine. I can't think of anything that actually I would really want to play at the moment just for sake of this test. But you kind of get the general idea. You can just basically navigate to whatever folder you want, pick something, hit open. You can set the volume with the slider, which is actually really handy. You can tell it to either play, stop, play, overlap, play, restart, or loop and stop. Which actually, loop and stop, a couple of these are actually brand new. I haven't actually seen these recently. And you can also, if you need to have emergency stop, you can have a simple stop button, which will actually kill the action of the altogether for audio. So that's for sound bites. And then this is, of course, we established what scenes were, or how scene switching works. Let's talk about some of the newer features, such as multi-action. And as a side note, I like to add also, the Stream Deck software supports Streamlabs, supports system operation, Twitch operation, Twitter control, as well as supporting, if you hit this little this button here, you can actually then select more platforms such as XSplit, YouTube, T-Stream, and Streamlabs OBS, which is actually pretty handy for those of you that use Streamlabs OBS. So yes, there is integration for it. I just have it unchecked because I don't use it. So there are many different types of integrations that come with the Elgato Stream Deck for doing whatever, basically almost whatever type of thing you want to do, which is really great. There is also source control. I'll come back to the multi-action in a sec. I feel like I should talk about some of this other stuff. There's actually source control, which is actually very cool. So for example, I can say, okay, in source control allows you to control a specific scene and the elements in that scene. So, for example, let's try the where's my Elgato capture card? Oh wait, sorry. I have to go to, first I need to select I'm using the recording for YT. I can now pick either my camera border, my monitor, or any game, apparently, whatever that means. I think that's just something from another scene, apparently. And so I can tell the Elgato, hey, I don't want to see my camera anymore, or I don't want to see my webcam anymore, stuff like that. You can then actually title it as webcam if you wish, or you can set a custom icon, again, if you want. Most of these functions can have custom icons established to them. And to simply change it, you just hit the drop down, hit set from file, and then you pick the I'd probably suggest either JPEG or .mpg, or sorry, PNG. Sorry, my mistake, PNG, because it looks the best on the really small screen and stuff. I don't know what the resolution size is, but Elgato has a icon maker on their website where you can actually make custom icons and then download them. Personally, I actually prefer to make my own. As you can obviously see here, a lot of these are all custom icons that I made because I had very specific needs for them. For example, my icons will actually change to a red color. They go from red to green because in professional video switching, usually you would have your preview program, and so green to me represents preview, red represents to me program, and so when I hit it, it then switches to that that source telling me that it's that it is in use. Now, unfortunately, in multi-action, that is not the case. It does not have a, it does not change what icon looks like. It simply puts a check mark, which I would like to ask Elgato, if you guys are watching this, could you please make it that the icon can change a different color so we know when it's in action, so we know that that action is taking place rather than just a check mark? Because in all honesty, I'm not really always looking down at my Elgato, and I want to be able to know that the color changed because I represent actions with colors. So that'd be really, really helpful. So you will just have to look at the button for multi-action, make sure you see the green check mark or whatever. Well, it's actually not a green check mark. It looks like something, well, even for this. Yeah, well, obviously there isn't any action to be done. Yeah, okay, fine. Sorry, I know that was sort of around Robin Hood's bar, and I have a tendency to do that. I'm so sorry. If that made sense, hopefully. Again, guys, you have questions, leave them in the comment section down below. I will check them out, and I will try to answer them best I can. If I need to, I'll make a follow-up video about how to do a specific thing. Now I'm gonna go ahead and move into multi-action. Now, it says, obviously, very simply, drag an action from the right and drop it here. So that means anything here can get dragged in here. So for example, I could say, hey, I want you to show a scene. Hey, I want you to then start record or start stream. Then I want you to say, play this soundbite. Then I want you to say, oh, I don't know, put a delay, and then maybe change, then maybe stop the soundboard, then maybe go to this scene. And you can keep adding and adding and adding, and then you just simply go back through, and much like how you would have, let's go here. Much how you would have like this, where the controls, like for example, these are all scene buttons. These are AV buttons, so audio visual buttons such as color bars, kill music, unmute, mute all, etc. You're basically taking, theoretically, all of these actions and these sub actions. So these are actually subfolders here. Yes, you can have folders within folders. And you're basically then creating one giant action. And a real world example of a giant action would be this one here, which has 11 actions. As I mentioned earlier, it will show the end of stream video, play the credits, empty the bit jar, activate the raid command, mute both my mic and VoIP, which actually I need to remark that this is mic and VoIP. And actually, I'm gonna go one step further here and give another example. So after it's stopped recording, I'm actually gonna have it unmute my audio so I can reset for the next time I go to stream. So I'm gonna set this to Twitch scenes. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, I should mention that the mixer is tied to scene collections here. So if you want to set up a new scene collection, you can hit new and then tell it to that, hey, this is a scene collection I wish you to use. Very handy. I'm going to go ahead and just set it to my mic, and then I'm going to set it to my mixer. So this will basically now reset my audio sources, so the next time I open up OBS or whatever, it will already know to activate that. So it deactivates, end stream, reactivates, and stops all media and stream and everything after waiting 4100 milliseconds. Now this is what I don't like, and I don't understand this. The timer function counts in milliseconds. I really wish Elgato hadn't done that. That is very confusing. In the professional video world, you don't do things on milliseconds, you do things on seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years, specifically minutes and hours. So Elgato, please change the function from milliseconds to seconds. It would be so much easier for me. I literally had to go to a millisecond counter conversion thing to get the specific minutes that I want. So I believe this is actually, I want to say 1 to 2 minutes, I believe, in milliseconds, which again is an annoyance. But that is basically what this multi-action now does. So it's a one-click hit, and I click it and it's done, and it resets everything. Absolute, so handy on so many levels. Let's see here. I know that was a little bit confusing, but anyway, that is basically how you would theoretically program a multi-action. What else? Let's see. What else did I want to cover in this? So there's quite a lot to it. You can, as I said, you can skip alerts. Now, if you want to skip alert, oh yes, actually, this would be a very good point to make. If we're going to, so Stream Deck has the ability for other types of integrations, such as accounts. You can actually link your Twitter, Twitch, Streamlabs. Actually, let's go ahead and look at all this. So it does Mixer, Streamlabs, T-Stream, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. You basically would go in, you tell that you wish to add, I can't show you because right now I've already had it added and I don't think it's going to let me doubly add what it wants. But in theoretically what would happen is you would add, say, your Twitch account. It brings up a little browser window. It asks you for your name and login. If you're an affiliate, it will ask for your two-factor authentication code. And then once it's done all that, it will then say, hey, I have access to your account now, which then is important because it will allow you to then do changes such as, let's say, empty your bit jar. Well, which account are we emptying the bit jar for? Grid 21. Oh, okay, no issue. Hit the button, empties bit jar, confirms that, hey, check mark, just emptied the bit jar. Perfect, great. Let's say you wanted to do, what else is a Twitch thing? Let's say you wanted to see what your, I have to be careful because I don't want to do something. Let's have a chat message, for example, and I could say test, and when I hit that, bam, sends a confirmation on the Grid 21 account, on my Twitch account, that I have said the word test. I hope there's nobody there watching that. So these are just some of the great things you can do. You can also do like a tweet and then pick the account, and I could write a message and I would hit that button and it, it sends it up to Twitter really, really easily. Also, there is spam protection for the Twitter button. You cannot hit this button more than once in a given moment because it's trying to prevent you from spamming Twitter with the same tweet over and over again. I believe that's also a element of Twitter of itself, so it's following whatever, I guess, Twitter spam rules are or something like that. These are just, there's so many combinations of things you could do that, like, I could be here for days explaining stuff. I mean, there's text, there's opening a program, there's hotkeys for Windows, there's multimedia keys to control things like iTunes. There's all kinds of things that you can basically add to this software that makes this hardware all the more powerful, and it essentially enables you to be a better streamer, at least in my opinion. I feel like I've become a much better streamer now, especially, oh dear, I just kicked the camera, especially in a, I work in really professional, I like to work in really professional environments, and so having the Elgato Stream Deck to me is a very professional environment. I mean, when I'm able to hit a button and show my rear camera like this with, all my stream elements, where is it, if I can point to it, such as my event list, my sub list, BitBoss, stuff like that, my, I know we were to point to it, but I have this video and stuff playing. It just really shows the sheer power of being able to activate all these different scenes and sources and stuff. It's a very large learning curve at the start. It's very intimidating for sure. When I first started, I was just like, yeah, but then as the software has advanced and it's got better and better and better, it's really become a very powerful tool. You can also have more than one Stream Deck. Now, I only own one because I feel like I only need one. Well, let's just say at the time I feel like I only need one. Now with multi-action, I don't feel like I really need as many Stream Decks to do stuff. Because multi-action especially is really, really nice. If only they would make it so that the icon, you could change what it shows, and you could just simply reset after it, after it's done and such. So let's see, what else is there? I think that's pretty much it. I know it's kind of a bit of a fast run through, and it's not, and I wasn't trying to fast run through this. I was just thinking a mile a minute here. So beyond that, that's really basically how you would do it. So you have, again, If you wanted to do some stuff or do extra actions, you can have multi-action. Hit this little button. You can start dragging over. Oh, sorry. You start dragging over elements that you want one by one. Name them. And in the same, the editing has not changed once you go into multi-action. There's literally the same actions. They haven't changed. You can basically change whatever scene you want. You can change whatever action you want. You can pick a file that you want. You can, sound clip. You could have it, skip a Streamlab alert for spam protection, which I might actually add this as an option in my AV sources in one of my folders here. Change profile for Streamlabs, which I have to experiment with that one. So that is basically sort of a bit of a tutorial / run through of the Elgato Stream Deck. If I went through something too quickly and you didn't feel like I delivered this video the best way that it could have been, please go ahead and tell me. I need to know so I can better plan my videos and make you guys more enabled to properly use something like this for your streams. Yeah, I believe that's it. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to cover as well. I don't think that's it. All right, I think that's it. Sorry. And let's see, this does this. Yeah, that's a multi-action as well. I'll have to make a custom icon for this one too. Yeah, I believe that is it. Yeah, I think that's actually it. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. And again, leave some comments down below if you have questions, comments, or concerns or whatever. And until then, have an awesome rest of your week, and I will catch you all later.